Hey, so I know I haven't been here on YouTube for a while because my posts are mostly on my blog, on Instagram and my Facebook. They're quite often written. I don't do as many videos anymore because it's just not as practical and a bit time consuming. But I do love doing them sometimes, so here I am. And today is about baby-led weaning because I feel I've done enough for long enough. It's been 4 months, almost 5, to get a bit of an idea of how the beginning goes. I'm not saying we've completed the journey. It's obviously not completely independent eating yet, but we've kind of come through the first challenge and the first hurdle. So I thought I will share it, so whoever is starting the baby-led weaning journey or about to start, you get a bit of an idea what it might be like, because every child is different. But if your child is similar to mine, then perhaps it'll give you a bit of reassurance and maybe some pointers. So we started when he was 6 months. He was able to sit by himself by 2 months by then. He was very comfortable sitting up, holding himself up. He could put confidently things into his mouth, not into his eyes or ears or whatever. So if I gave him a spoon, he would put it in his mouth, or food, he could pick it up and put it in his mouth. So, and he was 6 months, so his digestive system was much more ready. So I felt it was time, and he was already expressing interest, so he'll be grabbing food off my hand and trying to put it in his mouth, lick an apple, he was eating it, things like that. So I decided it was time. So on his 6 months birthday, I served him a little banana with a candle in it, to kind of mark off the journey. And we started with what you call finger foods. So they're basically foods that are safe for babies, and they're about the size of your finger, so the length and the width. We started with like steamed broccoli, cucumber, avocado, steamed carrot, even a raw carrot. Things that, because they don't have teeth yet, they can't bite them off, the hard stuff, so that's safe enough. And the kind of soft chewy stuff they can gum off, but they can also chew it. Initially that can be a little scary, because if they do chew off a little bigger piece, they often gag. So that's not the same as choking, and there are also videos actually showing the difference on YouTube, so I'd recommend to have a look at that, because gagging is normal. It's really important they go through that process, because that's how they learn how they need to chew, and how big pieces are okay and how big pieces are not. Choking is really rare actually, because the reflexes they have, and the gagging reflex is still quite forward, so the food is nowhere near the throat when they start gagging. So it's there for safety, and it's important they go through that process, and it helps to actually quieten the gagging reflex as they start swallowing. Breastfed babies tend to have it a bit easier with chewing, so if you've been breastfeeding till now, they should take to it a little easier. Bottle-fed babies or babies who had severe tongue ties and stuff, and the muscles are not as developed, might take a little longer with chewing, but this is great practice when they can chew on the kind of sticks and little foods. It shouldn't be anything crumbly yet, or anything that can get stuck to the roof of the mouth. So literally the first couple of weeks, I was offering one food at a time, 3 times a day. He would just be sitting next to me, I would have my meal, and he would have like a stick of avocado, or stick of steamed broccoli, or green beans, or whatever. If you want to see exactly what I was serving, you can have a look at my blog. I'm documenting, like every Monday I post what he's had for the week. So you can have a look at that. And then as he was advancing and things was getting better, I started to add maybe a couple things on a plate and give him more choice. But also what started to happen about the time, because his gagging reflex is so sensitive, like mine, like sometimes I throw or brush my teeth, like it's that sensitive. He would actually throw up when something went up a bit too close, and I didn't want him to have negative associations with food. Like I didn't want him to associate throwing up with food. So because of that, I started to offer a bit more pureed food as well, but it would be one or mostly two ingredients in there. Usually it would be pureed veggies or cooked veggies or fruit. So like cooked apples and pears, puree, or maybe some tomato sauce with aubergine or with courgette or something like that, or beans but pureed. But what I would do is put it on a spoon, so I would preload the spoon and just put the spoon in front of him, and he would grab it and put it in his mouth. So I never fed him, never forced any food down him. I just put the food in front of him, and it's up to him whether he picks it up or what he does with it. If he doesn't eat it, doesn't eat it. Sometimes he just plays with it, licks it, throws it on the floor, whatever. I put plastic sheets underneath the table and on the wall, so he can throw however like. It doesn't matter, it's wiped in a couple of minutes. So that's how we started, and it then continued. Like I was trying to offer him variety of foods, so he wouldn't have samey stuff, and allow him to try and taste, and he would actually taste. He was very careful as well, which is very cute, because he'd be like, and just taking tiny little licks and sips. He never like rammed food in his face and stuff, which is nice, because I feel it's safer. I don't need to worry so much about the choking, because that's what choking often happens, when they just ram too much food in their mouth. So he's quite safe with it, but he's quite reasonably adventurous. He'll try most things. Sometimes there are things when he just doesn't like the look of, and it goes nowhere near him, which is fine. I just keep offering every so often, because sometimes you need to offer these foods several times. They say even 100 times before they actually take to it. And sorry, it just bit me because he's falling asleep. So this is a journey. It will take time. I mean, I only started eating olives when I was 24, so your palate changes. It takes time. So there is no rush. He doesn't have to eat all the foods. As long as he eats enough variety, it's fine. Also, because he's still breastfed on demand, I wasn't too worried about how much he actually eats, because his main food is still milk, and I've started to give him some vitamins that contain iron, because my iron was pretty low during pregnancy, so I wasn't sure how much he actually had in him. And usually around the 6 months mark, the iron levels start to go down, and they need it from food, because he wasn't really keen on meat to start with, and eggs he only ate little bits and stuff. They were just, I was a bit worried about the iron levels, so it's something I've been topping up with vitamins once a day. And then kind of, he was basically eating, licking and trying stuff, until about 2 weeks ago. So when he turned 9 months, that's where things really switched. He suddenly started to really eat. So he would eat everything that was on a plate. He would eat slice of bread with, let's say, tuna, avocado mash, or I made a creamy sauce with dill, or with finely cut green beans with some boiled potatoes, and he would eat all of it. Like, it would be quite a big portion for such a little one. Porridge, all of that, he would just lick it clean. Everything was just, sometimes he eats and I can't give him the spoons fast enough. He's like grabbing them, licking it, throw it, licking it, throw it. I even got him on a video with 2 spoons in his mouth, because it's just not coming in fast enough. So it's been amazing. Like, it just was like a switch suddenly. Truth is as well that just before that he got his teeth through, so now he's got 4 teeth, and I think that made a difference. And I need to be more careful, because he's got teeth. I can't give him anything that's too hard, so like a raw carrot or apple, because he could bite a bit off, but then he doesn't have anything to chew it with, because it's just gums, and that's where the choking hazards come in. So everything that can bite up needs to be soft enough to chew with gums. But I only puree fruit because he likes it simply, and occasionally vegetables when it's like courgettes and stuff with the skin on, because the skin gives it more flavor, but it can get stuck at the back of the roof of the mouth, and they don't know still how to take it off, and it can get distressing. So sometimes I puree those. It's just like in a sauce, but I eat the same sauce also pureed, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, he's really started to enjoy food, and he's putting on weight actually because he's still breastfed on demand as well. I'm definitely doing that until he's about a year, and then we'll see how we might start adjusting during the day. He might not need it as much. He drinks water from a little glass, or when we out and about from a beaker, and the beaker also stands on his little table so he can reach it whenever needs to. And he started to enjoy little snacks of the puffed up corn snacks and stuff for babies, and rice cakes, so he occasionally grabs that. I think more for fun than for food, but he does eat it. So it's been really interesting journey, and I do try to give him stuff as well that I don't eat, like mushrooms. I can't stand mushrooms, but I do buy, like, we have this veggie shop where I can buy just one big mushroom, so I just buy a mushroom and I cook it up for him on the butter, and he seems to actually enjoy it. So I don't want to make his choices for him, or what he likes he doesn't, so I never force him to eat anything, but I also don't want him to lose out just because I don't eat something. We're still avoiding salt because he's not old enough. We're avoiding honey until he's about a year, and we're avoiding added sugar. I often sweeten stuff with banana, so if I make any muffins or like fairy cakes and I don't know, porridge, or pancakes and stuff, I try to make it usually sweeten it with banana. Or for example, when you cook the apples, if you cook them with pears, it sweetens them up, so there's no need to add any sugar, and he really enjoys that. He actually quite likes starty stuff, the fruits that are a bit soury, and he loves avocado, so I hope that lasts because it's quite good for him. Yeah, it's been actually quite fun watching him eat now. I try not to stare at him because it could put him off, but he really enjoys food, and it's lovely to see. And just the progress as well. His pincer grip is improving massively because I started to give him like half blueberries and sliced strawberries and stuff. So bananas, now I used to give him like little fingers, but now I give him circles. So he can practice gripping them with his fingers and putting them to his mouth, and he's getting better every day, and he's so much more confident with the spoons as well. So soon we'll start trying if he can actually spoon the food himself from the bowl. I know it's gonna be a lot of mess, so I'm kind of preparing myself for that, because I think it's gonna go flying everywhere because the sticky balls don't stick to our table. So yeah, we'll see. I'll have to try it one day and be brave. But it's honestly, like, because I have the plastic sheets underneath on the floor, on the carpet, they stick to the carpet. They're those that normally used during painting, so they don't slip. And literally just wipe the surface like you would wipe a table, and it's really quick, so it's not really a big deal. And I rub him in his I have a kind of the bib with the sleeves and everything, so I just take that off and put it in a wash, and there's not massive amounts of cleaning going on. So yeah, it's baby-led weaning has been a really good experience for us. He really enjoys it. It's stress-free for me because he's eating at the table with me. I'll get my meals done in peace as well, and actually with nice company. So it's been really good. And at the same time, he's learning social skills as well, and he's copying me when it comes to eating, and he gets interested in food I've got on a plate. Most of the time it's the same, but sometimes it isn't. So, and when we have company as well, if someone's with us, he eats even better. He really loves having people around for food. So yeah, it's been really good journey. I hope it's gonna be for you too if you go down this route. And I'd actually say one more thing, because it's something I was confused in the beginning about. Baby-led weaning doesn't mean that you can't give them pureed stuff. Yes, you can, if you feel more comfortable with that. Just don't force them. The baby-led weaning is about them managing their own appetite. So you preload a spoon, you put it in front of them. You can maybe guide it initially in the first months. You can guide it to their mouth, but don't put it into their mouth. They need to lean forward and take it off the spoon. If they want to hold a spoon, let them to feed themselves basically, and let them to eat as much as they want to. They're unlikely to eat too much. They might eat too little in your eyes, but just remember that their stomach is only as big as their fist, and they still on milk. They still should be on breast or bottle until they at least 1 year old. So that's still their main source of calories and vitamins and minerals. So you really don't need to worry about how much they eat. So just let them play with it, let them explore the different textures, the different flavors. Just let them be. Don't watch them too closely. Just let them enjoy the experience and enjoy your food while they're eating. Actually, them watching you eat with joy and peace, it's more likely to create them to be a peaceful, joyful eaters. So go for it and let me know your experience, or if you have any questions. If I know the answer, I'm happy to help. All right, take care. Bye bye.